14-year-old Caleb and 9-year-old Julius. They're autistic. Zoom school has been a disaster for them.
There is no learning. There is no furthering his education. It's none of that.
Distance learning was a complete nightmare, to say the least.
Guess what the worry monsters eat?
Nikki Liakos is my niece. She lives in Orange County, California. I've known her son Julius since birth.
Happy birthday!
Attended his latest birthday party, celebrated with friends and relatives at an amusement center in Anaheim. I met Caleb's mother Renee at an Open the Schools protest in Los Angeles last month. She organized a rally to open the schools right now and appeared live on local LA TV news.
My son has regressed.
What's it been like the last year?
It's been extremely hard for my son with special needs because he's been without all his therapies for the last year. So I've seen a huge increase in self-injurious behaviors, him biting himself, hitting himself. You know, he's used to going to school with an IEP and maybe sitting 20-minute sessions with breaks throughout the day. And now with Zoom, they expect him to sit there all day for 6 hours. There's no way that he can do that.
Julius couldn't do it either.
He's my special needs kid, so Zoom was non-existent almost. They have very short attention spans, so for them to sit in front of a computer for more than 10 minutes just is not gonna happen. Plus, doing it at home, he doesn't see me as his teacher or his support staff or anything else that he has in a structured educational environment.
What was that like trying to teach at home?
He just gave up. It was the first couple of times he would try some of the lessons, the paper lessons that they would send home. He wouldn't participate in the Zoom lessons. And then it just became a struggle, a tantrum, a fight for him to do any of it all. So it just became no learning at all.
Fortunately for Julius, the Orange County schools reopened last September. Caleb wasn't so lucky. The Los Angeles public schools are still closed. What's a mother to do?
The ideas, the questions,
Renee works from home, a senior manager for a national biotech firm. Who's that next to her? 5-year-old daughter Callie. She's attending kindergarten on Zoom, so Renee is managing that too.
So do you want me to turn on Zoom or are you going to turn
Caleb can't be left alone on Zoom, so Renee and her husband personally pay for a full-time assistant for him. He's supposed to go to school on Zoom. How is that working out?
That's, if I have to say any part of the 8 hours that I spend with Caleb a day, that is the one time of the day that he is the most agitated.
Look who's here.
Zooming 6 hours a day was a no-go for Caleb, so they cut down his distance learning to a handful of 15 to 20-minute sessions every day.
As far as the math classes, the reading, the having to read assignments, the printouts, none of that. Caleb understands what he's doing. He's basically just going through the motion. Caleb's day-to-day on Zoom is not tailor-made for Caleb. These academic classes are not beneficial to him.
What's worse is distance learning prompts severe behavioral issues.
So it triggers him where my son is doing self-harm. And as a mother, it just infuriates me because it's almost like I feel like these school districts is more concerned about their duty and task and what is best for them versus what's best for my son or any other child like him. So when he's placed in front of Zoom, all you see is this escalation of frustration, stress. He becomes overwhelmed, and how that is displayed is punching himself in the head, punching himself in the mouth, biting his arm, even hitting his head against the wall.
Distance learning triggered Julius too.
We went from him having 1 tantrum a day to him having 7 tantrums a day.
Part of the problem is school closings disrupted their daily routines. The importance of routine for kids is really, can't be stressed enough. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's the most important for Julius. And I think that's the problem with what happened with the distance learning is as much as we tried as parents to set a schedule like it is when there wasn't distance learning, like get up at the same time, get ready at the same time, get school going at the same time. His schedule was just so hodgepodge with how they set everything up that he wasn't able to even stand any of it. It was just like, I'm at home, this isn't my learning environment. I'm not gonna sit in front of the computer. I wanna be in my pajamas all day. They need structure. It's proven that special needs kids thrive on structure. They need it. They have more behaviors when they don't have structure. And they go to schools where their program is based on structure. It's like they have their routine, they have a visual schedule, they follow certain things that they're not able to do in a home setting.
So, ever since he was 3 years old, the routine has always been at 7:30, 7 a.m., a bus will come and get him. He goes to school, he has his class, lunch, release, bus ride home. That was his life Monday through Friday. My son could tell you any day of the week and he knew exactly how his day was going to be. Now with Zoom, all that is gone.
Special needs kids like Caleb and Julius have IEPs, individualized education programs, tailored to their needs. The parents and educators meet every year and set goals. What happened the past year?
Because of the COVID shutdown and no in-person and no structural education, he didn't meet hardly any of his goals for this year.
So, wasted.
Yeah, regression. He had a regression.
That's disheartening.
Yeah. It's hard to hear as a parent because you're waiting for these meetings and you're waiting to see his progress, and you're a big participant on the goals that they have and what you want to see for your child. And then when you sit at a meeting, because they haven't been able to be in school or be around any teachers, then they haven't met any of these goals. It's like starting all over again. Yeah, it was hard. It's hard. It was hard for me to sit at that meeting and hear that he didn't meet any of those goals.
It's the same for Caleb, who missed speech and occupational therapy.
There's no more speech, there's no more OT, there's no more getting up and getting dressed and going to school, going out of the house. So all these skills that he has built since he was, 3 years old, we've seen nothing but regression. It's hard to get him to go outside. It's hard to get him to interact with people. We haven't had an evaluation on what his current status is. It's funny, we were supposed to last year, but with the whole pandemic, that didn't happen. But as far as his IEP, his targets, we've identified targets, but realistically, we can have an assessment tomorrow, and I guarantee you, he has not hit anything that was targeted for him to reach.
Even before the school closings, parents of special needs children live with the gnawing fear of what will become of them as they mature. The past year has only heightened their anxiety and intensified their concern. This is John Spiropoulos reporting.